In your project, you will get extra marks for things like bug checking here, like you've done like that, and the use of functions. So what I'm going to do here, because this is pretty generic and you can change these around to different things, is I'm going to use a function. So I'm going to go up to the top of my page here. That's where your functions should be written after the stuff maybe that's imported. So I'm going to function to deal with potential bugs. Function to deal with potential bugs. So this is a bug catcher maybe. And I'm going to take in one piece of information. I'm going to call it X. Now what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to jump back down to the bottom of my code. And I'm going to grab I'm going to call my function here, and I'm going to say, okay, bug catcher is equal to, bug catcher, and I'm going to pass data up to it there, and I'm going to store that in data again. Is that a great one? So data for Firebase maybe. Data for Firebase there, that's ready to go, and I'm going to copy this data up here, get rid of that fella, put it back up to the top, nest them inside here. So now what's going to happen here, because I passed up the data, X is going to represent that data that I'm passing in. I need to change that accordingly here. If the length of data, which is now known as X, is greater than 0, and similarly here, if X is, or maybe a good name to use there would be state. I don't know, maybe state or something for a variable that we're receiving. If state is equal to on, if state is equal to off, that's good. Print data. So we can, I suppose, make sure that that's just working for the moment anyway. Yeah, that's lovely. But we also, if we want to use that data again, what we must do is we must return that data. And I suppose if it's done that check and it's got past it there, we're going to, make sure in there we're going to return that data back from the function, and that will then be stored in, sorry, I'm in the wrong one there, stored in our variable data FB. So let's just make sure that that's working correctly now, because if I run that now, you're not going to get, or shouldn't get anything printed out. Although I just check here and just get rid of this. Or I could have left him in and just left him in for testing purposes. Always a good idea to do this. You can remove them right at the end of your code. And then we're just going to return our data back to the main function there. So now if we save and we run, we're actually going to get nothing now. We're going to get blank. What I need to do is, that data has been returned, but it's actually been returned to data for Firebase. And I'm going to now have to go print data FB. And now we should be back in business. But you can see the use of functions there to really clean up your data. So again, printing data, I'm not going to be using that line. That's going to be gone soon. But whereas I had about 5 lines there now, I've condensed it down to just one line where I pass the data up here to the bug checker. So pass data, might be a good idea to put in a commentator here. Pass data to bug checker, bug catcher, to check for errors. Yeah, lovely stuff. And again, you get more marks for using functions in your project. So that's something pretty cool. I thought that would be useful.